Hello. This is a presentation on the object-oriented programming concept of encapsulation. Encapsulation is a part of object-oriented programming that allows the programmer to hide attributes and methods from other programmers that might use the class. Let us look at an example. Assume that you are building a large software system. You need multiple developers to work on it due to its size. You ask one of the developers to build software that can determine the average of a set of numbers. In the program, the user will enter the numbers, and at certain times the user needs to know the average of the numbers. In a non-loop approach, the programmer may create two global variables, numCount and numSum. The programmer could also create a function to add a number to the set, insert num, intx, and another function to return the average, getAverage. The code could look like this. We have a data declaration section. It defines two variables numCount and numSum as integer and sets their values to 0. The insertNum method accepts a parameter x. This method adds 1 to numCount and adds x to numSum. The getAverage method returns numSum divided by numCount. If you look at this code, it is correct. You can call the insertNum function multiple times, and when you call the getAverage function, it returns average of the number entered. Let us assume that you include this code in your program. But what happens if some other line in the program does this? numSum equals 7, it will change the global variable numSum and introduce an error. This could happen due to any number of reasons. It could be an accident. Maybe the program has another variable with a similar name, like numSum, and the programmer just mistyped it. It is also possible that the programmer thinks that he knows more about averaging numbers than the programmer that wrote the original code. Now let us look at the OOP approach using encapsulation. With encapsulation, we can prevent other developers from accessing data and methods. In this example, we define a class called Averager. It is a self-contained component of software that computes averages of sets of numbers. In the OOP encapsulation example, notice that the attributes numCount and numSum are private. The methods insertNum and getAverage are public. Other developers cannot access numCount or numSum. If a developer tries to access private attributes or methods, they will get a compile time error. There is one other important benefit to note about this example. In the non-OOP implementation, you can only find the average to one set of numbers. In the OOP implementation, you can find the average to multiple sets of numbers. This concludes our presentation.